understand that you are in an abusive relationship. The person that you're with is abusive. He's manipulative. He is deceptive. He's going to gaslight. These are the things of what people do when they are abusive. They are physically and verbally aggressive. They're going to have temper tantrums. They're going to make you feel like you're going to walk on eggshells. So now you're dimming your light for someone who don't care about you. In 2007, my sister was murdered as a result of domestic violence. And so I needed to, I want to understand why. And of course, I'll tell you the mindset of vengeance was there, but I had a son at the time and I decided to open a nonprofit organization. And ever since then, I've been helping people to leave those type of situations. 1 in 3 women will be murdered as a result of domestic violence. 1 in 3. When there's guns involved, you are at a 750% risk of being murdered by that same weapon. 3.3 to 10 million children witness domestic violence per year. 3.3 to 10 million children. Domestic violence costs about $5.1 billion a year due to injuries, lost wages, and stuff like that. 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence, whereas 1 in 7 men will experience domestic violence as well. There are over 900,000 cases of domestic violence per year in the United States. That's just here. And to break that down, the Ohio State Buckeyes football fan seats 109,000 people. Can you imagine 9 of those stadiums filled with people who have been a victim of domestic violence?
What's up, beautiful people? It's your favorite light, M Boogie in this thing. Welcome to the Can't Be Broken podcast, where we are shining light on the darkness that is domestic violence and abuse. If you've never been here before, welcome to the show. We got 3 simple goals: to educate, empower, and encourage. We're here to educate anyone who has never been in an abusive relationship, don't understand abusive relationships, and can't quite get why anyone would stay or return. We gonna find out. We are here to empower all of our survivors to stand up and share their story without shame, fear, guilt, or judgment, because you are strong, you are powerful, and your voice deserves to be heard. And for anyone who is currently suffering in silence, listen, you are not alone. You are not crazy. Abuse is not normal. Your feelings are valid. And despite how it may look and feel in this very moment, there is a way out. There is joy on the other side, and we encourage you to seek support. Now, let's go ahead and hop up in this thing, because you know we got to rise above these insecurities, release the burdens of shame and guilt, and revive our God-given power, purpose, and passion the Conf1dence Way, because we about to light it up. Y'all, listen to me and listen to me clearly. You are so privileged to be a part of this conversation today, because the guest we got today is about to give you everything you think you didn't know you needed to help you with your life, to help you on this journey of healing, to help you with someone else who might be on their own journey of healing. He is an author. He is a motivational, inspirational speaker. He is a trauma relationship coach. He is all things here to help you learn how to have a healthy life with healthy love. Y'all, welcome to the show, Mr. Clinton. Pew, 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 pew. Confetti, 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 confetti. Clinton. Oh my gosh, y'all don't understand how much I'm trying to control my excitement right now. Sir, how are you doing today?
You just made my Tuesday a whole lot better. I will tell you that. I'm doing pretty well. I can't complain.
Good. This is about to be so good. I saw oh my gosh, you posted something. I don't know if it was a couple of days ago or yesterday or something, but I got to read y'all what this man said. He said, why would you give an abuser your life when he's only going to serve 8 years for it? We starting off heavy today, okay? We ain't sugarcoating nothing. Listen. It's too many times that we are holding on to hope of the person that they pretended to be, thinking that that's who they are when they're showing you who they are. So that question is, why would you stay with someone who's willing to take your life? And then if they do serve time, it ain't even going to be a full life sentence. I'm gonna open the floor up to you first of all, because I'm gonna let you introduce yourself and say what it is that you do, how you do it, how you got into it, and what your mission is right now in life.
I am Clinton Patty Sr. I'm a relationship and trauma coach. I'm the CEO of Clinton Senior Speaks. I've been a advocate for healthy relationships since 2007. I've written at least 3 books about on the topic. I have 2 journals in which I created. One of them is for healing the wounds of childhood trauma, and one of them is um, healing from trauma as a result of domestic violence. I've been in the mental health field over 20 years. I used to be a practicing therapist, in which I'm not doing it anymore. Um, my mission is to solely eradicate domestic violence and to improve our relationships so that we can provide our children with the best opportunity to be successful in relationships, because relationships are the most important concept on earth. It took 4 people for us to have this talk right now, because 4 people had to make us. And so what we need to do is we need to focus more on improving our relationships so that we could again decrease the violence within our communities, not just the Black communities, but all communities, because it happens in all. So that's my spiel. Also, I'll say started this mission in 2007. My sister was murdered as a result of domestic violence. And so I needed to, I want to understand why. And of course, I'll tell you the mindset of vengeance was there, but I had a son at the time, and I decided to open a nonprofit organization. And ever since then, I've been helping people to leave those type of situations. I did become a therapist because of it. So once I've learned what I need to learn as a therapist, I've learned to study behavior patterns. So now I can tell you what's going to happen next in those situations. And it's kind of like, in order to catch a thief, you gotta think like a thief. In order to catch an abuser or to understand an abuser, you have to think like one. So I use like real life examples to give people real life stories. I am raw, I am real, and I am genuinely loving towards people in general. So I'm not a fan of violence. And definitely, especially against women and children.
Wow. Well, that's a lot. First, let me just say my condolences to you and your family for your sister, and to commend you from taking that pain and pushing forward with a purpose for it to help allow your situation to improve and encourage and heal other people's lives and situations, and also to be preventative. We're in the same line from that aspect of being able to have a traumatic experience, but not allowing it to define our future, but instead be the fuel for us to help other people in their own situations, in their own lives, their own families. So thank you for stepping up and taking what you've experienced and using it as a means or mode of transportation, just to be an advocate for a lot of people, especially women, who feel like they don't have a voice, who feel like they aren't seen, who feel like they aren't safe, that they can't get out, and all the other lies that they've been conditioned to believe. We just want to say thank you so much for your mission, your passion, your purpose, your life, and your dedication to this cause. We truly, truly, truly appreciate it. Woo, child. We starting. I don't know if you need to buckle up. It sounds like y'all gonna need to buckle up for this one. So please keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, and put on whatever safety harnesses you need, because we about to be in that thing. Man, okay. So you lost your sister. How long was she in a relationship with that person?
I think it was about 2 years.
Did your sister experience, to your knowledge, any other violence, or was exposed to any other kind of unhealthy relationships growing up, or that she had seen?
Well, my sister grew up in Mississippi. So violence there was kind of like normalized in relationships. And unfortunately, in those type of situations or city or towns, they encourage you to stay with an abuser, especially if he's taking care of you
Now,
or if
who is
he
they?
the citizens, the public, or the community, mamas, black mamas. I hate I'm gonna be told you I'm gonna be raw and real, but it's most of the time it's the African American mothers who may have experienced it themselves. And then they encourage their daughters to stay in those situations. They expose their daughters to those type of situations, and then they play the victim as if they didn't have any other human being to think about while staying in those situations. See, I also hold victims accountable as well. Yes, I love you and I don't want you hurt, but I get tired of telling you to stop going back to a person that is hurting you because I got a feeling and I know that it's going to end in you losing your life. So yes, I'm going to hold you accountable. Yeah, we could, every time you go back and you come back, we're going to feel sorry for you or we're going to want to go get vengeance for the person that's hurting you. But in the grand scheme of things, we really got to look at it. This is your fault. You keep going back to a person that's hurting you. And I don't understand what make you believe that hurt is normal in relationships. So no, you can't. You're gonna eventually gotta stop. And I'm not saying this as a form of victim blaming. No, it's not okay. I would never be okay with that. Even with my sister passing away, I don't blame her for being murdered. That's not what I'm saying. And I understand that those situations are difficult because there's a level of psychological warfare that goes on. However, you as a human being and as a person, you have to know that you don't deserve that. And just because you keep going back and you expect someone to just keep being there for you, they get tired too. And it's hurtful. The thing is that you're hurting someone that loves you for somebody that's hurting you. You're hurting someone that loves you for someone that's hurting you. When all your family and friends want you to do is they want you to be safe. They want to see someone loving you genuinely, someone who protects you, someone who treats you right, someone who knows how to speak to you. They want to see that for you. The
I'm
fact
so
that you're
glad you repeated that.
selfish.
You're
And I,
hurting the people who love you for someone who's hurting you.
yes,
I just want to sit with that for a second because I love the rawness of this conversation. And the reality is that when you're in an abusive situation, relationship, marriage, partnership, unless you're like a child and this is your family and you don't have the ability or the freedom or the whatever you need to get out, when you're an adult and you choose to be with someone who is hurting you and you choose to stay with that person for whatever your reasons are, you do have to take accountability for that. Them putting their hands on you is not your fault. You didn't deserve it, but you continuing to subject yourself to it for whatever your many reasons are for staying is something that you have to hold yourself responsible for. And I can speak on myself. I had several reasons for why I stayed in the marriage that I stayed in for 3 years. And all of it breaks down to being insecure. All of it breaks down to being less concerned about my well-being and more concerned about other people's opinions of what happens if I leave, what is your family going to think, what is my family going to think. It's embarrassing. All of these things that we put on ourselves that are lies. In reality, I wanted to stay. One of the reasons was I wanted to stay because I wanted him to still be around his kids. But if you think about how bananas it is to make a statement. You want an abusive person to be around their kids as if the abuse isn't going to affect the children, as if the children aren't going to end up being abused, or as if the children aren't going to grow up thinking that abuse is normal. And so we put a we put a we hold on a pedestal. I'm gonna piggyback off what you said about how a lot of communities, especially in the Black community, how women will say, stay with that person. Even if they're doing you wrong, they're still quote unquote providing or something. They're giving something for you. We put on a pedestal the importance of, especially in the Black community, having the father in the household. Like there's so many absent fathers and all of this stuff. that we think that we need to have the father, but the reality is you need to have a good father. Like keeping a household together just for the sake of saying you have a two-parent household doesn't benefit the next generation. If the mother is toxic or if the father is toxic, it's not benefiting anyone. It's just saying you got a two-parent household, when all I'm doing is teaching my kids through my actions how they should live and how they should treat other people. And so I think it's important that, yes, if you have been in an abusive situation, you have been on the other end of abuse, at some point, if you weren't abused and you didn't leave, you have to be responsible for why am I here? Why do I keep coming back? Why do I keep staying? You have to ask yourself this question and not put the pressure on your family to be there for you every single time you leave and go back and leave and go back and leave and go back. I want you to share with us, Clinton, some statistics, if you have any, like off the top of your head, in regards to the likelihood of someone being murdered if they return to their abuser, or what kind of statistics do you have? Because I know you've been in this thing for over 20 years. You've been really studying, so you are deep in it. And a lot of times women, I can say for myself, don't know exactly how severe it is. One statistic, and I'm gonna let you talk, I promise, that I learned after I got out was that if a man puts his hand around your neck, the likelihood of him killing you is increased by like 600%, simply from the act of choking or strangling you, whether you black out or not. And so I know that you've got some knowledge that you can share with our audience members for those who are in situations or those who know somebody who's in a situation.
One in three women will be murdered as a result of domestic violence. One in three. Um, when there's guns involved, you are at a 750% risk of being murdered by that same weapon. 3.3 to 10 million children witness domestic violence per year. 3.3 to 10 million children. Um, domestic violence costs about $5.1 billion a year due to injuries, lost wages, and stuff like that. Um, one in four women will experience domestic violence, whereas 1 in 7 men will experience domestic violence as well. There are over 900,000 cases of domestic violence per year in the United States. That's just here. And to break that down, the Ohio State Buckeyes football fan seats 109,000 people. Can you imagine 9 of those stadiums filled with people who have been a victim of domestic violence? It's a lot. Another thing that I would like to add, when you are in a situation, you have kids, you should never, ever, ever allow your kids to see nothing like that, regardless of if it's their father or not. At the end of the day, you are creating a legacy, and it's important. Yeah, we talk about being insecure, but let's talk about this low self-esteem, or it could be some sense of grandiose ideals of self, meaning, hey, I'm looking at social media and I see narcissism. I see the symptoms and people are talking about it all the time. So this is something that I may be dealing with. This is what's wrong with him. So you know what? Now that I know what's wrong with him, I think I can fix him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disregard all of my maternal instincts of protection, and I'm going to fix this relationship because I'm going to fix this man. I'm going to fix him because I know he's a narcissist. Yes, he's a narcissist. That's all. He's just a narcissist. That's all it is. So you know what? I can fix him. Sure, he thinks about himself, but I know if I love him, I can get him to think about me too, and the kids, and we can stay together, and we can be happy and healthy. You're gonna hear this first. You're gonna hear it here, right now, today. You can quote me on this. Abusers do not change. No matter how much you love them, no how much you cook for them, no matter how much you pay for the things they want, no matter how much you want them to see you, they will not see you. They don't see nobody but themselves. And another thing, they're not narcissistic. They are perpetrators of abuse. That is a crime. Yes, I understand you see symptoms of narcissism in people who may be abusive, but that's not the diagnosis. Narcissism is only diagnosed between 6 and 13% of this population. It is a rare diagnosis. So what I need y'all to stop doing is stop listening to these self-proclaimed relationship experts talking to you about something they read about narcissism, and understand that you are in an abusive relationship. The person that you're with is abusive. He's manipulative. He is deceptive. He's going to gaslight. These are the things of what people do when they are abusive. They are physically and verbally aggressive. They're going to have temper tantrums. They're going to make you feel like you're going to walk on eggshells. So now you're dimming your light for someone who don't care about you. You're dimming your light because for someone who will break your light bulb and change it to break another light bulb. Abusive people do not change. They just change victims. What I want to create, I also want to touch on this. Calling yourself a survivor of domestic violence seems like you're still living in your past. Calling yourself a survivor. Sometimes people who are in those relationships think about surviving, right? So they can tell their story. They want to be able to say, I survived this. When you start to think about surviving domestic violence, you're not surviving. You are supposed to, you experienced domestic violence. Yes, you did. And you experienced it because you stayed in that situation and you did not adhere to the red flags that you already knew. So I'm gonna tell you a secret that you might not know. You know, growing up, they told you if you got butterflies, you really, really like that person and it's gonna work out and it feels so good. The truth is, that is your body telling you that something's wrong with that person. That is anxiety telling you that you need to walk away. That is fear that's telling you need to walk away. It's not that you like that person. It's that your body's telling you this is a big red flag. But because of the ignorance in which we've been taught growing up, we've been taught the opposite. So now we stay in these situations and nothing happens. And I didn't even mention how the justice system is going to treat you as a victim or a survivor of domestic violence. They don't really see you as human. So that's why the consequences are not heavy enough for people who do that. Again, abusers, being an abuser and narcissistic are two different things. Narcissism is a personality disorder, and it is in the DSM 1 through 5. Abusers are bad people. And I know y'all don't want to hear that, but I'm going to tell you anyway. There are good and bad people. Regardless if you have experienced a bad childhood, there's not justification to harm somebody else's daughter. There's not somebody, no, or somebody else's mother, cousin, or family member. That is not okay for you to harm your daughter's or son's mother because you want control and power. Ladies, you are just as abusive as men. You are not a victim. You cannot perpetrate and then act like you're the victim because you want to use the systems that were designed for you to play the victim. That's what happens, and that's why we are divided as a culture. Our family systems have been destroyed because we don't have accountability when it comes to our women. Yes, we love them to death, and they are the life force. But if you are the life force, you can't be the victim in the life force. You got to speak life as well. It's not just about what you do just because you can get pregnant and have a baby. That doesn't make you the life force because there is life and death in the tongue, in which I see that there's been a lot of women that use the tongue and men do too. So abusive men and women, they use the tongue first. The first sign that you're going to be in a toxic relationship is manipulation. So for those of you who are out there dating, the first sign of manipulation. And once you recognize there's manipulation, you need to walk away because nothing's going to change. What
So
abusive men do, go ahead.
real quick, let's stay right there on the manipulation part, because there are a lot of times where people think maybe that was a flag, maybe that was a sign, but I'm not sure. Let me just hang on in here and see. What would you say like really simple that could be something that's like like it just seems so not important that it gets dismissed, but it is a sign of this person is manipulative. What would you say to the people who are out there dating now to be on the lookout for in detail or specific that you could provide?
Okay, first thing, abusers know when you are you insecure about your looks. They immediately start calling you beautiful. And then they'll start sending those good morning texts regularly because they know that's what you want to hear. You need to believe that you're beautiful. You need to be able to look in the mirror and see that you're beautiful so that that doesn't affect you either way. But they will catch you that way. They will beautiful you to death. They will also listen to your stories. When you start telling them about your past, they're going to use it against you. They're going to know what you're going to put up with and what you're going to take. So what I would do is I would refrain from giving past information. Don't talk about old relationships. Talk futuristically. Like, what do you hope to see? Like, what do you want to see in a healthy relationship? Also, the number one sign is a person is going to be abusive is they appear to be excessively vulnerable. They cry a lot. They always talk about what happened to them. They could be replaying the same thing. They could repeat the same thing that happened to them. Example is, well, my daddy locked me in the room. And so now my stepdad locked me in the room, so now I act like that. Or my mama wasn't there. My mama did this, right? So that saying that hurt people is not true. It is a myth. The truth is unhealed people hurt people.
That is so good because I hear that so many times: hurt people, hurt people, hurt people, hurt people. And I've never actually taken the time to think about the fact that there are people who have been hurt who still don't choose to hurt people. It is unhealed trauma that causes you to, woo, come on, Clinton, come on now. Let me
Also,
go out and take my seat.
one thing I would like to add though is when you are dating, you have to know the difference between a religious man and a spiritual man. A religious man is going to abuse you. They're going to use religion to be abusive towards you. They're going to use religion to make it seem like they're this God-fearing man. Okay, so this is you can quote Clinton Patton Sr. on this. A spiritual man is not going to hurt you. A spiritual man knows that he's made in God's image. A spiritual man knows that there is no fear in love, for perfect love casts out all fear. So that man walks in love. He is genuinely loving to you. He will not hurt you. He's going to be protective over you because he also knows that love is protection. Love is protection. You can't love someone and protect them and hurt them at the same time. It's not love. So a spiritual man that knows that God is love and he knows he's God's image, walks in God's image. He's going to love the neighbors. He's going to love people around him. He's going to be a loving person across the board. And he knows that love is infinite. So it ain't no, I used to love you, but I fell out of love with you. He don't believe in that. A man that's a loving God doesn't believe in that. Also, a man that's not going to abuse you knows that there is no fear in love, so he's not going to call himself a God-fearing man. He's going to tell you how much he loves God and what God has done for him. He don't fear you. He does not fear God. A good man does not fear God. I don't care what I get the Baptist and religion will tell you. A great man who's made in God's image loves God unconditionally. It never stops. And though what happens is he loves God so much, he gonna love you too. He's not gonna hurt you. He's gonna protect you. In fact, he's gonna go to God to ask him how can he protect you because he loves you so much. Abusers will tell you how much God is a blessing. They bless them and all this stuff, and I'm blessed to have you. But they'll turn right around and abuse you. They don't really believe in. They're not spiritual. They are actually demons. And so for you, those of you who are dating, you have to be careful with the term soul tie. You can't tie your soul to a man without a soul. And abusers don't have a soul because and that's indicative of them not having a conscience for hurting you. They want to hurt you, but they don't want to be hurt. So that's why abuse is hidden in them. They want to hurt you, but they don't want to be hurt. They don't have a conscience when it comes to hurting you, but they have a conscience when they want to protect themselves. And yet, you have the people who are going through the situation protecting a person that won't protect them
Wait,
by not
wait,
telling
wait.
them.
Hold up. Slow the train down, Clint. Slow the train down. I'm so like I can let you go on. I just gotta stop right there. Oh my gosh. They don't have a conscience when they hurt you. They only have a conscience when they don't want to be hurt. So I heard two things in that statement. The first thing is I'm gonna hurt other people so they can't get close enough to hurt me, or I'm gonna hurt you in private and manipulate you not to tell because I don't want the justice system or whoever to come and hurt me or take away my freedom or make me look bad and all these other things. That's why a lot of times abuse is hidden. I've had people on the show, women on the show saying, you know, just last week, or the week before last, someone said that he would never hit, she told me that he would never hit her face because he liked her face too much. So he would abuse her, the rest of her body, so that other people couldn't see the abuse, the bruises and the abuse and everything out in public. And then turn around when she gets the strength to leave, the church basically condemns her for not staying with him.
Oh, that's another thing. Churches, quote me on this. I don't care. I do not care what people think. After working with pastors' wives and realizing that this is a problem, the people in the church are worse. Like, there's no way you can call or say that you have God in any type of church when you are condemning a person for leaving a situation that's going to take their life if they stay. That is not the love of God. And even in that, pastors, you put pastors on too much of a pedestal. And they are the main ones. Pastors and deacons are the main ones abusing their wives. Because again, it's religion. You know, when God said you can't leave me, and He's going to be mad at you, and He's going to destroy your life if you leave me. That is a myth. That's not what God is love. God is love. God wants you to treat your wives with love, right? So, I mean, that's another topic of discussion. Like, do not let a church make you give your life to a devil, to a demon. The same church is supposed to be saving you and making sure you're going to heaven, right? Don't let them make you believe that God will be mad at you for saving your life. God don't want you to hurt. If God's loving, love doesn't hurt. And if it hurts, it isn't love. If it hurts, it's disappointment, it's resentment, it's sadness, it's depression. If it hurts, it's all of those things. Love is life. Love is peace. Love is uplifting. Love speaks life. Love speaks life even in disagreement. So even when you do something that gets on a person's nerve, they can tell you in love that you're bothering me, that you're annoying me, can you please stop? That's different. Abusers don't use that. They want power and control because they're cowards. I said it here first. They're cowards because they are afraid to heal from the things that may have happened to them. And this is not an excuse for their abuse. It's never an excuse. But they are cowards. They rather take advantage of a vulnerable person than to be the person that God designed them to be. Again, these people don't have souls, so they're presenting a false sense of spirituality, a false sense of God, a manipulative sense of God. So they'll do something to you, and they say, you know what? What did you change? Yes, I've been to church. God told me, like He told me to take care of you, and I'm gonna do it this time. God told me that we're supposed to be together. We are soul mates. Do you think God would want you to be a soulmate with a demon? Do you think God would want you to be a soulmate with a person that's hurting you? Do you think that's what life is about? God ain't told nobody to survive. God told you to thrive. God haven't told you to stay in a relationship that's hurting you. God didn't tell you to accept alcoholism and drugs. And while I'm on that point, I'm going to say this. Alcoholism and drugs do not cause domestic violence. Domestic violence is a choice. It is a decision that that person has made to control and to gain power over a vulnerable person. Also, you become vulnerable when you're leaving a relationship, when you're in a bad relationship, you become vulnerable. So that's why you keep meeting the same type of guys. And another thing you need to be accountable about. How could you be mad at somebody else when you keep staying with a person that's hurting you? So then I say mad at somebody else, what I mean is you would stay with an abuser, but when a good man come along, you like, no, I'm not doing the same thing I did for the abuser. That's not fair to the person that is a good man. You hurt yourself by staying with that person, and yet you want to take it out on the person that wants to genuinely love you.
Quentin, you gotta give these folks some time to breathe.
Now it's time. That change is coming. You're gonna
Wait a
stop playing the
minute.
victim. You're gonna stop. When I say playing the victim, you're gonna stop being the victim, and you're gonna accept accountability for staying with a person that hurts you, and you're not gonna punish a person that actually genuinely loves you just because you stayed with a person that continually abused you, thinking you could fix them. See, the problem with most women today is y'all want people who you gotta fix. You want a man you fix. You want to feel like you invested something in them so you could have one up on another woman. That's what it boils down to.
Is that what
You
it is?
want
They
to
want to feel
say,
like they
yeah,
invested something.
you invested something. You want to one up. You want to one up. What's crazy is a lot of these women be posting these abusive men, acting like they happy.
Hey, let me raise my hand. Okay, that was me. That was
Yeah,
me pretending that I was happy. And I knew in my brain I was trying to convince people that I was happy, but deep down I was trying to convince myself that it was like it was going to be okay, and it was never going to be okay. But that was me out. Like, even now Facebook will throw, Facebook give you the 1 year, 5 year remember. Like, I'm like, I can't even post this because it was a lie.
it's fake, and that's what abusers do. That's why you teach an abuser how to keep you in a relationship by what you accept. You teach them how to abuse you, but you got to teach yourself how to go and how to thrive. You thrive when you leave. You would never thrive in a
Heal.
situation that hurts you. You would never heal in a situation that hurts you. Never. So when you with a dude and the dude is consistently hurting you and you keep asking them not to, or you even start to fight back. Even when you fight back, you're still a victim of domestic violence. There is no way you could think that just because you fight back, that makes it any better. A woman is not supposed to have to defend themselves against a man. A man is always stronger no matter his shape or size. If you are in a relationship where you feel like you need to be fighting and cussing and yelling with a man that you claim you love or he claims he loves you, you are delusional and you need to leave that person alone. In fact, you need to leave that old part of yourself alone too. You need to change. You got to grow because you have kids looking at you. Do you want your kids learning how to be abusive or learning how to be a victim? Because it goes both ways. It goes both ways. This is not an attack, but this is accountability. Stop going back to a man or a woman that you know is abusing you. You're not stupid. You're not ignorant. In fact, you're extremely intelligent. You know better. You know how I know you better? How I know better? Because you only speak about it when it hurts you really, really bad. But you hide it. You only point out the good time. You only think about, oh my God, we had a good day today, but What about the end of the night when he punched you? What about the day before when he pushed you?
Let me
What
say
about
something.
everything that he accused you of cheating? What about
Quentin, you are reading everybody and everything right now. Let me tell you something. So I have a prayer journal, and I started it, I think, when I got in that relation. No, I was journaling before, but I kind of made it more like a prayer journal. And as I think back, I realized that I wouldn't even go in the prayer journal unless we had like good time. Like there aren't really, there may be a couple of entries of bad experiences or bad days, but I stopped writing. And then I had the I don't even know, the warped mindset to go back in the prayer journal and thank God for good days, like so many consecutive days or nothing bad has happened. We are getting better. And oh my goodness. But the reality is, I wish I would have wrote down the bad days. So, that there's proof
right?
of this foolishness to go back and read and get yourself like, look at what you've been through. Other than your memories, look at what you've been through. Look what you keep exposing yourself through. Look what you keep justifying that you don't deserve. You know you're worth more. Why are you still here? Why are you allowing these few little pieces of comparison or concern or what or shame or guilt to hold you captive to a situation that you know you are better than? And like you said, it goes back to your self-worth. It goes back to truly understanding who God created you to be, why God created you, in whose image you were created in, and to know that God does not ever and never has wanted this for you. It's so many times, to piggyback off what you said about religion, man, when you started talking, I swear you just reading the whole story of my life right now. Well, not my life, but those years, because that was it. Like I called it spiritual abuse because I'd never heard it before, but I would see how, constantly picking out the Bible, the parts, the submissive wife, the this and that, but never holding yourself accountable as the man that God calls you to be in a marriage, as the head of the house and submitted to him. And it was just a lot to go through to be with someone who claims to be all about God and have this different connection with God, but you still treating me like this. You still have no concern for anybody else. If anything inconveniences you, it can't happen or it's going to cause issues. It doesn't matter if it's your family, if it's your children, if it's your wife. If it inconvenienced him, it caused an issue that I would later have to deal with. And so, like, just everything that you're saying to highlight, you get in the mindset of trying to highlight the good because they're conditioning you to try to highlight the good so that you can play the highlight reel so you don't leave. Like, well, baby, we did, he even said one time, like, well, at least we're getting better. And he threw me in it, like, we're getting better. I'm like, I'm not the one that's abusive and you're not getting better. I had to tell him, I was like, just because it's different doesn't mean it's better. Just because the abuse is different from what was before doesn't make it better at all. It's still abuse. And so I just wanted to pause right there because I need my people to like come up for oxygen because you are right. And I know some people are being read right now, and it's okay. Listen, y'all, it's out of love, but it's something that you need to hear. And hopefully you will replay this over and over again. That will help you truly believe the truth and not the lies that you condition yourself to believe, or the lies that the person who's abusing you has conditioned you to believe. But the truth is, you are bigger and you are more valuable. You are more worthy. You are more deserving to be with anyone who intentionally causes you harm for their own ego or pride or whatever their reason is behind doing it. The floor is yours, sir.
um you said something that kind of stuck out to me. You talked about the word submission. Um, if you submit to a man that you know is not and living what he's saying, then that's your fault.
Facts.
You have you have choices. Submit to someone that you know is not living in the way they're supposed to live is your fault. God's gonna send you a healthy man. That healthy man is going to know what to do with submission because he's going to submit as well. And I get we talk about being a leader, but in relationships, it's teamwork make the dream work. Yes, one person may make the decision, but it may not be the same person all the time. Once you learn that relationships are reciprocal, you'll be okay. You'll learn that they'll become more healthy when they're reciprocal. And I'm not just talking about finances. When you think that you got a man because he could take you out, buy you drinks, buy you things, all of that is forms of manipulation. All of it is. Yes, that's fun. Okay, I get it. But that is not tied to your value because I could take you to a restaurant, because I could open the door for you. You know, that's not tied to your value. I could buy you clothes and shoes. I could buy you perfume and underwear and all that type of stuff. That's not me being valuable. That's me being an opportunist. I know that eventually you're gonna give in. You're gonna give me what I want. So
Let
what I
me
would do is,
just say one thing too, because you do have the charmers who are out there who actually do have a financial, they're financially stable enough to be able to wine and dine and do all those things. But let's be real clear. There are so many people who are abusive who don't have financial stability, and they manipulate the situation. And then, like you said earlier, like you think you can help them and help them get out, or they come to you saying that they like playing on that nurturing spirit of a natural, like the natural nurturing spirit of a woman. They'll play into that. And like you said, bringing up the past and what they've been through and all of this stuff, playing on your heartstrings and making you feel sorry for them, making you want to say, well, I would never do that to you, because you have the heart to not want to do that to anybody. So now you feel like it's your responsibility to try to rescue them from themselves. And it's a lot of men out there who are abusive who don't even have the finances themselves to be able to do that. But you settle and you say it's okay because, I'm not in it for the money, or whatever you convince yourself to make it okay to feel like you're the one that's funding everything. Or even if you're just making it making it work without being wined and dined, like that doesn't determine your value or your worth. But just before you even get in relationships, it's like you have to come to a place where you're mentally and emotionally healthy enough to know what you stand for and what you won't allow, period. And if it's, I just know what you won't allow. Because like what I do now, what I plan on doing when I start entertaining someone or getting in, like thinking about being in a relationship again, my focus
you gonna
isn't on
call me.
all the good things anymore.
You gonna call me.
Huh? I'm gonna
You gonna,
call you.
yeah, that's what you gonna do first. You
And
gonna say,
text
"Hey,
you.
what is it? Okay, so this is what's going on. What you think about that?" And I'm gonna tell you.
Because
That's what
man, you got the sauce. You've been in it for 20 years. Like
Mhm.
my thing is focus on the things, like you said, the butterflies. I don't think I've ever just really had butterflies, but focus on the things that make you uncomfortable. Focus
For
on those
sure.
small things that don't feel right, like that you question. That's my mindset now. Like that's what I want to look for. I'm glad you.
You don't want to focus on, I wouldn't say that. I would
Okay.
say this. You want to focus on that person's spiritual competence.
Okay.
You want to look at a person's spirit first before anything.
Mm.
You know what a spirit look like. Look at the spirit first. If that spirit ain't right, then he can't have a good night. You gotta,
Oh, Johnny Cochran.
man, if the spirit ain't right, you can't have a good night. And another thing, I'm gonna be, listen, for those of you who are out there, stop sleeping with that man.
Say it again.
Stop sleeping with that man or that dude that's hurting you. That's not gonna stop him from hurting you. In fact, you sleeping with him is only hurting your soul even more because you know it's wrong. Stop sleeping with him.
I'm gonna say this
There is
though.
no way you should be sleeping with a person that's hurting you. And I know what I'm about to say is gonna be, listen, I'm just gonna say it. You better not get on your knees for a man that's hurting you. And I say that because that's another form of him feeling like he's dominant. And as long as he feel like he's dominant, he's going to do whatever he want to do to you. If he asks you for it, no. Matter of fact, he shouldn't be able to ask you for it because you shouldn't be with him.
That part.
Do give your body and your mouth um, to a man that's hurting you. Those are things that are important to you. When you give that, that person needs to be worthy of that, and vice versa. Men too. You too. Your mouth and whatever. Do not give that to a woman that's hurting you. That only leads her to believe that her behavior is okay, and you accept it. No matter, it's not. It's not love. That's what it's not. And I will tell you this: love is infinite. There is no fear in love. What's happening in these situations is what I call extended lust. Extended lust. Lust comes in cycles. When you first meet a person, you lust for them. You're like, oh my God, this is the one. Man, everything feels so good. You're not arguing or whatever. Then something happens, you start arguing. Then the lust is gone for a second. And then what happens is y'all make up. And so now it feels good again. And so now you're craving the feel good in the situation. And there's nothing but lust. And you can lust from the beginning, you can lust 15 years later, 16 years later, 20 years later, and you will not feel loved because the situation was rooted in lust.
So let me ask you this. Now I got two questions.
Go ahead.
Before we get to the extended lust, here's my question. So the advice is to not give your body or yourself to the person that's abusing you. So let's say you're married,
Okay.
or you're living together, and they don't take no for an answer. Like, what is your advice if you feel like you haven't created a plan to get out, and you know that if you tell them no, it's only going to end up worse for you? How do you manage that situation?
Well, in the moment you say no, it's rape. Press charges.
But what if I press charges and the police comes over and they're saying, well, y'all are married? Because a lot of women don't press charges because they've had such negative experiences with police, or
You
they don't believe that the police are going to do their job.
what I would recommend, there are organizations within your community that offer domestic violence advocates for you. I would get in contact with one of them, right? And I will also make sure that I document every incident of domestic violence. And you want to document the times you said no and then you continue to do it because it is a violation of your body. And I would document that, and I would do what I need to do to follow a restraining order. And I would just leave it at that because the more that you stay, he's gonna think it's okay. And if you don't do nothing about it, he's really gonna think it's okay. So being married, and I know again, the justice system is not favorable of people who are victims of domestic violence, even if it's by their husband. It's important for you as a human being to do what's the best for you. And sometimes the best for you is to formulate a plan and gradually cut it off. But each time that you sleep with this man, he's taking a part of your soul. He's taking a part of your spirit. He's taking things that you really need to be successful. He's taking things that you need to thrive. He's taking all hope that you could be in a healthy relationship with a man. Continue to sleep with him. So what I would do, document everything, contact the domestic violence advocate. Um, if I could stay nights at other places, I would do it until I don't have to do it anymore. I would file a victims protection order or a restraining order. I would make sure that I take the steps to make sure that I'm protecting myself and covering myself as well. But I wouldn't. I would have to not sleep with that person. I would have to because it's like your body is a privilege. You know what I mean? It's a privilege, and it should not be used in a way to hurt you as well, because that is sexual abuse. And that's another form of domestic violence. Domestic violence has several forms. I'm gonna give you a couple of them. Emotional abuse, psychological abuse, financial abuse, spiritual abuse, sexual abuse. Those are forms of domestic violence.
Document, because there's going to be a lot of people who may be in an abusive relationship who come across this podcast, this episode, and they're like, I can't get out because I know if I try, he's going to catch me, it's going to be worse. But the thing that I wish I would have done was documented just everything. Like I even did, I took pictures of certain things, but then I allowed him, like at some point he had deleted some of them, then I allowed him to convince me to delete other photos and things like that, because they'll say, well, you don't want to hold on to the past. The mindset is now, you don't want to hold on to that. We're trying to get better. We're trying to do this, etc., etc. So don't keep this because it's only going to remind you of the bad time. Like it's all like the manipulation, the
Also,
expertise of their manipulative ways is outstanding.
I would advise for those who may experiencing this, find one or two policemen and develop a relationship with them. When I say a relationship, call them when you call them, just out of the call them when you have questions. Tell them your story. You want to get the police on your side. So call a couple. If you call the same cop, start talking to them and let them know what's going on. And make sure that you read that cop's spirit, because not all cops they don't understand it. You have to be able to read the spirit of a cop, someone that's going to help you, like genuinely. So develop a relationship. Remember, I told you in the beginning that relationship is the most important concept on earth. That's another reason why, because you have to establish relationships with people for them to be able to help you and want to help you, to be honest with you, especially the police. Like you want to establish a relationship with them. If you're a woman, I'm gonna be honest with you. The best cop you can be a friend with is a woman cop. That's a woman cop, a couple of woman cop, right? Even a man cop. But most of the time, they pick a woman cop, start talking to her, let her know you're a mother, or let her know what's going on with you, or whatever, and eventually she'll start showing up on your calls. She'll start showing up where she needs you to be at. They'll start supporting you. Improve your relationship with law enforcement. And you have to, and I'm not saying all of them, but you got to pick the right ones. You got to have the discernment to know which one's going to do the right thing by you.
I think that's good, especially a woman cop. I mean, everybody has their issues. You don't know who's got trauma that they're dealing with, but to develop a relationship with someone who is in law enforcement and just being just transparent. Like I'm in an abusive relationship. You might not be ready to leave yet, but I need somebody that I know, because I know that I need to keep documentation of this, and I know that I need to create a plan to escape this situation. Can you help? Can I lean on you? Can I depend on you? Can I send you proof? Like whatever proof I have, so that I can get it out of my phone, so that it is not in our household, because a lot of times the abuser is going to be going through your belongings anyways. They want your passwords to everything. They want to see, like, and they're snooping, like want to snoop. It don't matter how many years before you even met this person, they're going to snoop as far back as you have any kind of conversation or any kind of history of anything, and then they're going to bring it up and question you about it. As
Mm-hmm.
if you could not have talked to somebody 5 years ago, but for some reason you still got a message in the phone from 5 years ago, or on your Facebook page, Messenger, or Instagram, or wherever, or email. They'll go far back as they want to, just snooping in your past, and then they're going to bring it up and cause an issue with you today, when it's somebody that you hadn't even talked to or even took romantic interest in. It's just a lot of about continuing to however they can make you feel less than, however they can, whatever kind of ammunition they can have against you is what they're going to use to continue to make you feel smaller and smaller and smaller, and worthless and worthless and worthless, and make you like just really question your own sanity. Like, well, why did I keep this for so long if I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? When the average person probably has histories of all kinds of stuff in their social media accounts that you're not even thinking to go back because you've just moved on from. So being mindful of that. And then, like Clint said, that's, oh man, I love that advice. Finding a good cop, a woman cop to develop a relationship with, share your story, be honest. The only way, I was listening to a sermon, and the only way that you can heal is if you're honest. Like, so many times people get into counseling situations or they'll call a coach or relationship coach or whoever, but you don't want to be honest about what's really going on, and you expect them to be able to help you. Be honest with the person that you depend on, that you're going to develop that relationship with, and let her know, or him, honestly, I don't think that I'm ready to leave yet, or I haven't created a safe plan of escape, but I do know that I want to get out. Can
Right.
I depend on you to hold all of my whatever proof I can send you, whatever documentation I can send you, so that it doesn't cause me any more harm in the house?
Then put it in an email. Develop another email that he that has no idea about. You can, I mean, you can put in the email, put in under an alias name or something like that, so we won't find it. The thing is, you have to strategically plan an exit. This is something that is life or death. So I'm not telling you to drop all your stuff and just go. I am simply saying to gradually remove yourself in a safe manner, because I don't want to go to any more funerals because of domestic violence. I don't want to have to deal with that. That still rings, hard to, it's still hard to this day. You don't want to do that. Like, that's why it's important to hold people who are in those relationships accountable for leaving. You have to leave. Like, you got to leave. You have to strategically plan an exit. Also, the first time that somebody's going to be abusive is they're going to emotionally abuse you first, and you're going to think is you because you defend yourself and you say something back. But what they say to you still hurts, regardless if you defend yourself or not. You know what I mean? And sometimes those guys they feel like you care if you cuss back or if you say something back or whatever. And so they're going to use that against you. Another thing that people don't think about is if a man calls you, he'll kill you. He'll kill you. The word is a instigator. It's a initiator. It's like if he can call you, he can take it to the next level. And I say that because I've actually experienced that. He'll call you before he kill you, while he's killing you, and after he kill you. I watched this show, I'm a Killer, right? And they had like 3 or 4 episodes of domestic violence where the man killed the woman. And I said that to say, each one of those guys, they said things like the gun went off, verbatim. The gun went off. They always separate themselves from the crime that they commit. The gun went off. The gun went off. My sister's killer called me in 2009. I asked him, I said, what happened with my sister? He said, man, I had drove to Jackson. I was drunk. I fell asleep in the car. My wallet was in the glove box and my gun was in the gun box. But when I woke up, it was gone. He said, I got out of the car, went up to the door, and I heard Ashley in there screaming, y'all gonna stop cheating? You gonna stop cheating on me with all these? I said, oh, okay. I said, what else have you said? So I kicked the door in, I went in there and I tried to get the gun away from her and it went off. It went off. I said, okay, it went off, huh? I said, yeah. I said, the thing that if you gonna call, you shouldn't, why would you lie? It's already done. He said, what you talking? I said, you're lying. First of all, my sister was extremely scared of guns. Second, I said, what hand was it in? He said it was in her right hand. I said, my sister was left-handed. She would never touch that gun with her left hand. She wouldn't even touch it at all. And the coroner had already said that it was a contact wound, meaning you pressed that gun on her head. So it ain't no, it went off. You pulled the trigger. So, um, That Friday, I talked to my sister, and she was like, I was just talking, and she said, I don't know why that boy got that gun. I'm scared of that gun. I said, what do you mean? Did he threaten you with it? Did he put it on you? She said, no, he ain't that crazy. I said, are you sure? She said, no, Big Clean, that boy ain't that crazy. I said, you need to tell me if that happened. She said, no, he ain't that crazy. I said, if it did happen, would you tell me? She said, yeah, I'll tell you. So that Saturday, she called about 6, and I was at my uncle's house. My cousin had graduated, and she talked to everybody on the phone or whatever. So she got to me. I said, what's up? Why you ain't come down here? She said, I had to go to work. She said, I can't go nowhere without no money. I said, what you about to do? She said, I'm going to go to sleep. I said, all right, call me and get back. That Sunday, August the 12th, about 4 o'clock in the morning, the police called and said there had been a tragedy. He had shot my sister in the head with that gun. And I called her phone, and call me back. Somebody, I know I ain't believe what I just heard. I sent her a text message, no response. Then I go to Mississippi where she was living at the time, and I find out that the relationship was abusive. And he had been jumping on her as much as he wanted to. In fact, the Thursday she went to court because he had jumped on her. And the judge told him that, gave him his gun back and told him to go back to Jackson and get psychiatric help. The same gun that he gave back was the one he used to kill my sister with. So for me, I know where it ends. This is not a movie. This is not a reality TV show. This is real life. Like, I've experienced it. I grew up in a household filled with domestic violence. My mother was a victim and a perpetrator of domestic violence. Yes, she could be both of them because she was, and it's just an unpredictable situation to put your kids in. So that's why now it's like, no, don't have no kid, don't have your kids around dudes that you're dating. You don't know. They don't need to see them. You can date without your kids. Date, see the dude when you don't have them. And don't make no excuse because you're a single mother. There's no excuse. I understand it's hard. I've had my child, you know, I have my children, I get it. I am a parent. But I also, as a parent, I got to make sure that I surround my kid with the best people, even if I am dating, so, and I got to see that first. My kids are not going to be nobody that I'm dating. No, I want them to be safe. And another thing that happens is when you are an active father, people tend to say things like, you can't control who your partner is with. So in my head, as a father, I'm supposed to do whatever I'm supposed to do, whatever I need to do to protect my child, even if it's because the other parent is doing something that's harmful. Those people that said that aren't going to be at the doctor's appointment. They're not going to be at the therapist's appointment. They're not going to be there. And there are kids who are dying as a result of domestic violence, which is child abuse, right? But it's really child abuse is domestic violence against a child. The worst place that you can leave a kid, your kid, is with a boyfriend. And there are statistics that show that. So while y'all talking about fathers should not care what mothers are doing and vice versa, that's dead wrong because these kids' lives are hanging in the balance. Your kid's father should be able to talk to you, and I'm telling you from experience. They should be able to talk to you and tell you, hey, I'm gonna keep the kid until you need to stop because I don't want to be a single parent. It's all about what's in the best interest of the kids. It's not in the best interest of your kid to be with somebody who's abusive, whether it's their father or their mother. It's not in your kid's best interest for them to see you dating people and making them uncomfortable because you're living your life in toxicity and playing the victim along the way and afraid to be accountable because you worried about how it's going to look to other people and how it's going to look on social media. People will be sad when they see your child in a casket on social media because you're definitely going to post it. But they're not going to be on your backside for staying in a situation that caused that. We are to prevent things from happening to our kids. Yes, we could say God protects children and fools, but God protection comes from that parent in the way that they think, how they act, how they move. God also uses people to protect their own kids. God didn't tell you to stay with no abusive man. God didn't tell you to allow your children to witness you being abused. That ain't what God didn't tell you to stay in that relationship. God didn't even tell you to listen to your pastor to tell you that. God ain't told you to listen to that man, manipulate you, understand? God would never tell you to be with somebody who's abusing you because God is love and love is God. And whatever you believe in is based in love. That's why it's universal. That's the one thing that people don't have a different view of love. There's not many names of love. It's just love. So while we have different names for God, God is love in most of or all spiritualities, religions or whatever. You know what I mean? It's love. God didn't ask you to be religious if you really think about it. He said, love thy neighbor. Loving the neighbor ain't got nothing to do with religion. It has everything to do with your spiritual competence. Love doesn't hurt. And if it does hurt, then it isn't love. Whooping your kids and telling them you're doing that out of love is a blatant lie. Hitting your kids and telling them you're doing it because you love you is a lie. And you're teaching them that pain is love. And that's why they stay in those relationships. Communicate with your kids. If you want them to do something, put it in the form of a question. Teach them how to make decisions. And you teach them by them watching you make decisions. If you are deciding to be with a man who looks like a man but acts like a child, you're going to teach them to pick one. They're going to think it's okay. What you don't know, and I want you to think about this, abusive men are feminine. That's why they argue with you. They really want to be a woman. I said it here. They are feminine. They argue
Ooh,
with
you
you.
about to make some folks mad.
They don't see themselves as a man. They see themselves as fighting a woman, woman on woman. That's why they want to exert their power. That's why they become jealous. That's why they always have something to say about what you're wearing. And I'm not saying that a man, even a healthy man should be protective, and he should say, "Hey, babe, I don't want you to wear that because this could attract the wrong such and such." It ain't got nothing to do with you. It's got something to do with the other people that will potentially hurt you. But now, when there's a jealous man that's abusive, there's a difference. He want to wear your skirt. He's feminine. He's been around women all his life. His dad was absent. Dad was there, but he spent more time with his mom. He's around his aunts and girl cousins. Yeah, you think because he's been around women that he know how to treat women. No, he don't. He know how to be a woman. He know how to manipulate a woman. He learns how to manipulate you from his mother letting him manipulate her. And he learns how to be manipulative because he watched men manipulate his mom. He watched his mom allow a man to manipulate her. So guess what he does? He manipulates her. So now he's going to manipulate the girl he's going to be with, somebody else's daughter. Ladies, you have sons. Watch how you talk to them. Because you will make them have displaced anger, and they might want to hurt you, but they end up hurting somebody else's child. So watch how you talk to them. Watch how you put your hands on them too. You can teach your child, train them without hitting. The rod is correction, and correction can be from something that you say. It's not an actual rod. If you are upset about slavery, why would you use the same tactics when you're raising your kids? What you want to star in Roots? You want to relive history? You want to be a part of history? So you want to hit on your kids and you expect them not to be violent? You want to hit on your kids, you expect them to be great students? You don't want to teach them, you want the teacher to teach them, huh? Because you're busy worried about this man that don't care about you. You over here choosing this man that don't care about your kids. Those are not his kids. He don't care about them. You over here choosing this man that's jealous of your relationship with your kids. That's why he's self-sabotaging. He want to act like he's a mentor or a quote unquote stepdaddy. There's nobody asked him to step up. That's the dude you choose. You make sure you choose wisely when you have kids involved. You want them kids to grow up and learn what healthy is. Stop trying to teach these kids toxicity and then being upset when they repeat the same thing that you taught them. If you teach them love, then they'll learn how to love. If you teach them and show them untoxic behavior, they're not going to be toxic. Stop making your kids think that drinking all the time is okay. Stop making them think that smoking weed is okay. Stop making them think that using substances to cope with the things they're going through in life is okay. Show your kids that they can be human so they will be human. And once they're human, then they'll stop killing each other. Domestic violence has a lot to do with the climate of how our children are killing each other. Here, for the last month or so, somebody's child has died due to gunshots. Enough is enough. And it's still because these children do not know how to have healthy relationships. And we're sending them back into our communities. And while our parents want to mourn and cry, I get it, I understand, but it's your fault. Improve your relationships. Improve your relationships. You know how you do that? Develop a sound moral system. Have a conscience for the things you say to people. Have a conscience for the things that you do. Show your kids that you're not a victim, that you can apologize. You can apologize by changing behavior. Show them the right thing. Show them that regardless of your past and the things that happen to you, that you can be a good person. A good person becomes a good man, and a good man becomes a good husband. A good person becomes a good woman, and a good woman becomes a good wife. Every woman that says she's a good woman is not a good woman. I'm sorry, there are bad women out there too, just like there are bad men. What a bad woman look like? A bad woman never holds herself accountable. A bad woman will blame everybody but themselves. A bad woman will become abusive too. A bad woman is abusive with her mouth. A bad woman takes the traditions and turns them to benefit her. A bad woman would drain you financially. A bad woman would never ever understand your dreams. A bad woman don't care about your vision. A bad woman is self-centered. A bad woman will call you a bad man. A bad woman loves and thrives in toxicity. A bad woman is going to argue with you. And everything I just said goes for a bad man too.
Linton.
Good women do the opposite. They love first. They love first. They speak life into you. They teach. They believe in their morals and their values. Their spirits, it's going to give you strength. It's going to give you peace. It's going to give you peace in the midst of chaos when they are a good person, when they're a good man or a good woman. They're not going to listen to traditions because they know traditions was rooted in slavery or as a trauma response from slavery. They're not going to listen to that. They're going to create their own family. They're going to create their own morals. They're going to teach their children everything they need to know because they understand that this world was not designed for healthy relationships. It's designed to divide and conquer. And that's why the family system is under attack. So as a person who don't tolerate that, nah, not attacking me. I don't even got to defend it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stay away from it. I'm going to do my own thing. I ain't got time to be defending nothing that's attacking our families. I'm going to take my family, and my family going to have a nice set of morals and values, and we're going to live in peace. That's it. We don't have to worry about violence in relationships. We understand what peace means, and we strive for that. We set goals in a relationship. It's not rocket science. Just like you choose to be in an unhealthy relationship or an abusive relationship, you can choose to make your relationship healthy. You can choose to be in a relationship, healthy relationship. Abusers don't change. I'm gonna say that again. Abusers do not change. So why are you being jealous and figuring, oh, he's gonna change with the next person? No, he's not. No, she's not. She's not gonna change with the next person. She is who she is because she chooses to be who she is. Abusers never change because they don't see themselves as a problem. They see everybody else as a problem, so they don't change. Do I believe that people can change? Not abusers. No. God knows my heart. He knows my spirit. He knows why I've come to this conclusion. He has shown me time and time again why I am right. I just want what's best for our children, and I want what's best for us as a community. Violence is never the answer, and I'm tired of it. So the best way to try to do something to end it is to hold the people who keep victimizing themselves accountable. Stop dealing with people who are abusing you or are doing violent things towards you, whether it's verbal violence, emotional violence, psychological violence, like walk away. There is no amount of flowers, no amount of sex that'll make you think you can change a man. And stop looking for potential. Potential will keep you potential. You looking for potential when people they ain't got no potential at all. And the thing is, look in the mirror. If you looking at a person that ain't got no potential, ain't got potential for nothing, then you ain't got no potential either. You just as bad as a person that you allow them to abuse you. And if that's not who you are, then I need you to find out who you are and get out of that situation as fast as you can. Nobody deserves to live in a form of slavery. The abusive relationships are actually situations. They ain't in relationships. They're situations. You can't relate to nobody that's abusing you. It's not a relationship. It's a situation. It is a toxic situation. You cannot relate to a person that's abusing you because you're not abusive. Stop trying to understand an abuser. You would never understand an abuser because you're not abusive. What you need to understand is how to put your right foot in front of your left and keep moving. And this is coming from a brother who lost a sister to domestic violence. What I do now is what I wish somebody would have done for my sister. Because I didn't get the opportunity to do so. Everything I said is all love. I have a passion for this stuff. This is not me attacking a woman, attacking women or men. This is my passionate PSA. If you or someone you know is in a domestic violence relationship, even a marriage, leave. Gradually leave. Or you can call 1-800-799-SAFE. 1-800-799-SAFE. That is the domestic violence hotline, National Domestic Violence Hotline. Call them. Call them. Don't stay. Because at the end of the day, the longer you stay, the more you put yourself at risk for losing your life. I'm not saying putting you in the hospital. I'm talking about your last six people the last six people that's gonna touch you, they're gonna be touching your casket. And they're gonna sit it on the little thing or whatever. And then the people gonna lower it down. You're gonna be in the ground or whatever. People gonna throw their roses on you. They're gonna be crying. And then they're gonna realize that you're never coming back because you chose a man that was hurting you. Choose you.
Choose you. Woo! Y'all know we gonna have to do we're gonna have to do a part 2 on this at some point. Good Lord. First of all, oh my gosh, it's just so much. Y'all might need to go back and listen to this one again because it's just so much in here. Woo! What was that thing you said? You said you cannot relate. There's no relationship because you cannot relate to an abuser. Oh my gosh. Abusers don't change because they don't realize that they're the problem. And that's all I want to end that with. Sir, I appreciate your whole life, your entire light. Keep illuminating, keep showing up, keep sharing love, keep shining your light. Thank you so much for this opportunity to have this conversation with you, to sharing and hearing your knowledge and everything. Like, this man is invested in healthy relationships and healing from relationship trauma and all these things. And because he's experienced it, I'm looking forward to the next episode. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but it's gotta happen because we ain't even get to talk about your book today, and we gonna got there and talk about this book. Before we go though, tell people how they can find you and get in contact with you.
I'm on all streams of social media. However, I'm going to point you in the direction of my TikTok. That's Clinton Senior Speaks. I have a man. I have so many videos of things that I touch on. It's very knowledge, very educational. Again, check my TikTok out. I guess I could. I'll send it. Well, I sent it to you. Um, Check it out. Let me know what you think. And yeah, we will be doing a part two.
We will be doing part two. Lord, have mercy. Help me, Jesus. Yes. Clinton, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your energy. And y'all know what it is. We're going to leave you with this. We got to rise above these insecurities, release the burdens of shame and guilt, revive our God-given power, purpose, and passion. We got to show up. We got to shine bright. We got to share love. And in the meantime, between time, you already know what it is. We gone. Pew, 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 pew. Confetti, 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 confetti.